Hi guys, welcome to a gloomy day in March. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my property in the Ozarks known as Claiborne. We have 17 acres out here. I'm glad you joined us. If you've been here a while, welcome back. So happy you've stuck it out with me. Okay, so here we are about halfway down this hill that leads down to our cornfield behind me. So you can see like my beehive over there and the trail that goes up there to the old moon shack. I don't think you can see the moon shack from here. Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can point it out. Right there's the original building on this property. It's kind of haunted. We stay away from there. Okay, so actually I have stuff stored up in there, but I don't go up there by myself. It's kind of scary. Okay, so anyway, so this building is tri-purposed. It has two purposes, functions on the inside, and as soon as I get this finished, if the weather ever clears up and I get it painted and get it done, I can't wait to show you what this building is. But this side is a hand washing station. And so with a hand washing station, of course, I need water. Every building on Claiborne now has to help us with water catchment. So we purposely set it this direction because that is south. And so we're going to have a solar panel up there, if I ever get the roof finished today. And then a very simple water catchment system right off the back that leads down into, for right now, just this igloo. So I've got to build a shelf across here, then put the igloo up on the shelf. It's already got a spigot. It holds like, I think, 12 gallons. I don't know. And then in the shelf is going to be a very simple sink. It's just a hand washing station. That's all we need right here. And then when you pull the plug from the sink, use plant-based soaps, pull the plug from the sink, there's just a hose that leads you all the way down the rest of the hill into the cornfield below. So in order to divert that water, I've got to catch it. So I've got 4.5 feet across here that I need to come up with some kind of contraption to catch and divert water down to there. Now I could go to the hardware store and price some gutter, but I've got some stuff around here I think I'm going to put to use. So you're going to have to picture, I will give this much away. The building will be white and it's trimmed in red. And now it's going to have blue gutters. I didn't plan that, but oh well, whatever. So let me show you what I'm planning on doing to catch this water. Okay, so now we're back out at Shaggy's shop. So I came out here and I wanted to figure out a way on my own to reduce, reuse, recycle some aluminum that we already have on the property. Don't worry, no full beer cans were sacrificed in the making of this video. I had plenty of these around. And so I wanted to make a beer can gutter. The thing was, I didn't want to look it up on the internet to someone else's right now because I didn't want to set my bar. Theirs could look phenomenal, and mine didn't. It didn't look good at all, but I didn't fail. I discovered a couple of things I didn't like. You have to always remember that. You always have to keep that in mind. And so I came out here and I just threw together a prototype real quick. And I'll show you my prototype, which is, yes, it's very ugly, but like I said, I didn't fail. I learned some stuff. So I learned how to work with these aluminum cans and to manipulate those. When it comes to working with aluminum, safety matters. Make sure you're wearing some good gloves because this stuff will cut you so quick. And if you're ever going to work with aluminum at first and you don't have glasses, make sure that you're wearing your safety equipment. So the first thing was I wanted a stop in the end. So I just cut the first can like that so that the water can't come out the wrong end. I needed a lip that was left up so that I could attach the lip to the actual building itself. Now, this is the ugly part. I put my hem on the outside. My husband said, why you got your hem on the outside of the skirt? And then I said, oh, so when I came back out and I tidied up my edges and I flattened out my aluminum cans and I turned the hem the right way, you can see I have a much better piece of aluminum to work with now. So much tidier and nicer. So, okay, so I learned, right? I didn't set my bar as high as somebody else's who's been working with aluminum forever. I'm just starting to work with aluminum, so my bar is kind of down here. So I'm setting my own, and that's what I hope that you do too, is you don't ever go online, look at a project and say, oh, you know, look how great theirs looks. And then you're afraid you're going to go out and start working with it, and it's not going to look anything. It's going to look like this, and you're going to give up. You can't give up. You have to set your own bar and stay in the pace with your own life. And so that's what I did when I came out here and started working with this stuff. Okay, so this is a new medium in my life. This is all new to me, right? So I did discover something about when you go to cut up cans. The easiest way is to start with a small bit. Make yourself a small hole, because the pressure of that drill is not going to crush your can that way. And then you go back in. I'm becoming a two drill girl. You go back in that same hole and you make a bigger hole, and then your can won't crush like that. And then absolutely make sure that you're working with equipment that is comfortable to you. Look how small these tin snips are. They're perfect for this project. See that little bitty point right there? Fit right nicely in that hole. I cut off my bottoms, I cut off my tops. And then I go back, I flatten it out now, where before I left it curved. I don't know why. I flatten it out now, so now I just have a nice flat sheet of aluminum to work with. Then my husband said, why is your hem on the outside of your skirt? So yeah, so turn your seam turn your hem that way, so that when it's up, that doesn't show. Okay, and then laying it out flat also, I was able to tidy up my edges, and then I can much better silicone the two sheets of aluminum together now. So much nicer. Silicone absolutely did work. I just came out here and started playing with it, and it absolutely did work. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is that with the rush of that water coming through, right there at those seams is going to become kind of weak. So I knew what I was looking for, but I didn't know what it was called. I had to describe it to my brother, and he said, oh, you're talking about galvanized plumber's tape. So I can remember my dad using this stuff for everything. And be careful with this too, because it is sharp. So this stuff is very flexible. The hole's already in there. All you got to do is find the screw with the right size head. And then look how nice, let me use the prototype. That's going to attach at the seam to my building. That's going to be so cool. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through and spray paint the whole thing white, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see what it looks like after it's up there. And if I still like it, I'm just going to leave it the blue, because it goes down into a blue cooler, blue igloo anyway. Okay, and then my rain chain. So the bottoms of the cans, I just took those and I took a hammer and, you know, flattened that down, and then that small drill bit, and made my little holes in there. Now this chain, I don't know how long this chain is going to last in the weather, but I guess I'll find out, right? And then to get the chain on into that little hole, I'm just going to use some jewelry wire. Don't be afraid to come out and try new stuff. Don't forget to wear your safety equipment. Just get used to working with stuff, and don't ever think that anything that you do doesn't look as good as somebody else's. Don't compare it to somebody else's. Set your bar in your own life at your own pace and at your own levels. And then you can go back and look at somebody else's when you start to feel more confident. Don't let somebody else's work ever mess with your confidence. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, one last thing I wanted to mention was that I forgot to mention was because my water is going to be running this direction, and I made sure that when I did my seams that this can overlapped this one, not the other way. Not like that would make a huge difference, but I still want to go with the flow, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if I would put it on this way, I'd be setting myself up for eventual separation. But because the water's going to be running this way, hard to do with one hand, I want it sealed, but I want the overlap part on the top, and it runs that way. Ta-da! She's done. Okay, I'll show you kind of up close. So you have to imagine my igloo is going to be up higher because it sits on a shelf, and I haven't weighted my rain chain yet. And you know, water follows the path of least resistance, so it's going to go down. That's going to be so cool. But look how well she installed. That's what I'm so proud of, is how well it installed. Y'all, I never created anything like this before. I just kind of dreamed this up. I even pre-drilled the holes so it would install so sweet. Look, it's not going anywhere. It's up there. It's up there good. She's not going anywhere. She's up there. She's all sealed. I kept those cans out of the landfill. It's got brackets on it. I got the roof done. So I'll show you one more time what it looks like from the bottom. I think it looks so good. My husband's like, oh Lord, there'll be no living with you now. Well, I got to put in the window, and I just discovered it has a J channel. I had no idea what a J channel was, but I'm about to find out. All right, it's done, yay, I did it. You can do it too. Whatever you put your mind to, you can totally make it happen. All right, guys, sawdust is your glitter. Love and light, blessed be.